We are back on this, the last Thursday in July. 1 week from today, it'll be August. Where did the summertime go? You're going to wonder that today when we get to the weather forecast. It's going to be cool for July. We've had this historically hot July. It was another warm day yesterday. We got to 90. We're going to be lucky to get to 80 today as a dry cold front is already beginning to work its way through. The good news is that it's a cold front, so it's going to lower the temperatures down quite a bit. Bad news, the relative humidity is going to be dropping lower than a gopher's basement, and the winds will be picking up. So not quite red flag levels, but bad enough. In fact, we had the latest on the Pioneer Fire up near Stehekin. The folks in the Stehekin area are now on a level 2. That'll be our lead news story, but the big story today, the coolness and the wind. I actually have my air conditioning off for the first time since like July 5th. It's not running right now. And it's saying, thank you very much, Dan. More news to get to, a lot of news. It was busy in the bullpen yesterday, so we're going to fill your head full of the information you need. The less we talk about the Mariners, the better. They laid another big fat egg yesterday. Highlights, if you will. And the Apple Sox lost to Kamloops. Can't win them all. We'll have highlights of that as well, or at least we'll be talking about it. It's Thursday, Pause for Pets. Hamtaro, it's a dog. We'll find out together who it is. And it's back. Serve Wenatchee Valley has been doing this for a gazillion years. It's their single biggest project of the year. It is clothes for the classroom. Kids getting brand new clothes as they head into the new school year. It's at a new location, still being put on, of course, by Serve Wenatchee Valley. New location this year. They've moved it to the Calvary Crossroads Church on Maple Street. I had a chance to talk to the Chief Hope Officer of Serve Wenatchee Valley, our good friend Mike Malman, and Pastor Jay Carone, who's been on this show before. He is the guy who runs the congregation at Calvary Crossroads. Great conversation back half of the program. We're already wasting enough time. Let's go. It's cameras around the valley. The Wenatchee Heights camera begins our festivities as it always does. A couple of high clouds out there. We had 93 yesterday. I said 90. That's not right. 93 was our high on Wednesday. Our normal high is 90, so we went back up above normal, which is something we've been dealing with all July long. After going just slightly below normal on Tuesday, we were back up above normal today. Now we're going to be completely on the other side. Again, maybe 80. That's it for our afternoon high. We're going to be about 10 degrees cooler than normal today. And I think for most of us, they'd like to hear that. Let's head on out to Ephrata. Good morning, Ephrata. You were at 63 degrees, same as the Wenatchee Valley right now. Ephrata does not have any wind going on, to my knowledge, at least out at the Ephrata Municipal Airport. Up at Pangbourne, we got a west wind about 15. And even though the camera's moving around a little bit, it's telling me there's very little wind out in the seat of Grant County. Let's head on up to Lake Chelan. This is the Bear Mountain camera. We have her turned around the other direction to look at Wapato Point and the greater Manson area. So this is down lake, up lake, which is where we had it yesterday. You could see the residual smoke from the Pioneer Fire, but we just turn it around, point it back down towards Chelan from our Bear Mountain camera. And I can't get enough of the Lake Wenatchee camera, which is why we're going to do it again. They're up there catching them sockeye salmon, 100,000 salmon past the Tumwater Dam. That's crazy. And look, there's a few clouds above Dirty Face Mountain and the White River Valley and the Little Wenatchee. None down here, though. We're going to have nothing but sunshine all day. Critical fire weather. You're going to look at the slide and you say, wait a minute, didn't you show this yesterday? Well, this is kind of an updated slide. Again, we're not at red flag warning conditions because it's not going to be hot enough, but it's certainly going to be dry enough. Relative humidity is going to be way down there, and it's going to be breezy most of the day today. The winds will be dying down overnight tonight. There'll be very little wind on Friday. In fact, the windiest part of the day is going to be this morning. And that's good news because the relative humidity is at its highest this time of the day. So no red flag warning, but still with the gusty winds, little wildfire concerns, certainly not out of the question from the National Weather Service. Only 79? Are you kidding me? But again, breezy, pretty consistent wind out of the west, about 16 to 18 miles an hour, gusts pushing 30 at times, but the wind will be dying down overnight tonight. Look at that, 53 for the overnight low. I like that. Friday, we start warming right back up again. Perhaps a little hazy, depends on how active the Pioneer Fire, the one closest to us, is going to be today. We're hedging our bets there, but 89 for the high on Friday, and then 90, 89, 88, 85, 91 as we say goodbye to July and welcome August 1 week from today. It's 5 minutes after the hour. We're going to do our traditional 2-minute break, and then we'll come back and give you the information you need for this Thursday. The news is next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa, located on South Wenatchee Ave, has the largest selection of spas and swim spas in town. Stay cool this summer in an artesian swim spa and use it all year long. We enjoy helping families reconnect one spa at a time. Hot tubs are proven to improve sleep and decrease arthritis pain. Our passion is water, so please bring us a water sample, and we will help you diagnose your pool or spa water for free. Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa, your pool and spa experts.
The family at the Epladolin want to help your loved one feel at ease in their new home environment. Epladolin offers beautiful one-bedroom and studio apartments. Residents enjoy 3 delicious home-style meals a day, laundry service, housekeeping service, and encouragement to make themselves cozy in their new home. Epladolin welcomes your family to come and visit their family. Epladolin, independent and assisted living. They make the complicated easy for you. Call today for a tour.
I want you to know where I stand on abortion. As governor, I will not change Washington law on this issue because I do not believe any politician, regardless of personal belief, has the right to make that decision for any woman. My opponent, Bob Ferguson, is trying to spread fear by saying things that I don't believe and will not do.
When you buy tires at Les Schwab, you're getting more than just tires. You're getting America's best tire warranty, 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. So if something happens to your tire on the road, we'll fix it, or we'll replace it, no questions asked. Other places make you pay extra for that kind of protection, but at Les Schwab, it's included with every set of tires, because more warranty means less worry, and nobody stands by their tires like Les Schwab. Get more from Les.
63 degrees, couple of high clouds, a little breezy. That's the story today. Quite a bit of wind and very cool. We might not even get to 80 for the afternoon high. 10 degrees below normal, and then we warm right back up again, and the wind will be dying down by sunset. It's just about 8 minutes after the hour. A level 2 or be prepared evacuation notice for Stehekin begins this morning at 8 a.m. Just about 45 minutes from now. Chelan County Emergency Management is urging residents to get ready to perhaps leave. The level 2 notice runs from Hazard Creek through the Stehekin Valley. It includes the Stehekin Landing and west to High Bridge. A level 2 evacuation means no tourism-related visitors are going to be ferried up from Chelan into Stehekin. In other words, you have to be a landowner and prove it to go up to Stehekin. All tourism-related visitors, so if you're camping or visiting or hiking, you're going to be required to leave. They're going to send the Lady of the Lake up to take those people out later on today. Emergency Management is advising residents and property owners to have their valuables packed, have an exit strategy to the airfield. That's where they'll be assembling. Hazard Creek to Safety Harbor remains at level 3, Safety Harbor to Camas Creek at level 2, Camas Creek to Mitchell Creek at level 1. If this changes throughout the course of the day, stay close to our website and our Facebook page. Speaking of fires up in Chelan, a fire just before noon yesterday morning appears to have destroyed the city-owned Chelan Recycle Center. There's some spectacular footage that we got from our PTZ camera. It was a 2-alarm fire near the waste transfer station just off 97A. It forced the closure of that highway for about an hour. By 1:45 yesterday afternoon, Chelan Fire and Rescue said the fire was in mop-up and an overhaul. The cause of the fire has not yet been released. There were no reported injuries. That's always good news. More fire news. Stage 2 fire restrictions go into effect for the unincorporated areas of Chelan County. It begins tomorrow. What does that mean? Stage 2, no campfires at home, no target shooting outside of gun ranges, and no outdoor burning of yard debris. Hunting is still allowed in open areas, as well as commercial barbecues and camping stoves. In light of the upgrade to Stage 2 fire restrictions, Chelan County's Valley Zone has been moved up to extreme. That's the highest rating on the fire danger scale. in our local area. Chelan County Fire Marshal Chris Peterson urges everybody to do their part and, quote, not to be the spark that causes a wildfire in our area, end quote. A man who managed to elude Grant County Sheriff's deputies for more than a day was arrested Tuesday after a property owner north of Moses Lake found the suspect hiding in his shop. 34-year-old Curtis E. Brown of Moses Lake is currently being held in the Grant County Jail pending charges of felony eluding. According to the sheriff's office, deputies encountered Brown about 4 a.m. Monday while responding to a report of a vehicle blocking the middle of Road W Northeast. Brown reportedly was sleeping in the vehicle, but he sped off after a deputy woke him up. After a pursuit, Brown reportedly crashed his car behind a shop near Road R Southeast and South Frontage Road East. Deputies said Brown then escaped on foot. At about 11 a.m. Tuesday, the property owner reported finding Brown hiding in his shop. Apparently he'd been hiding there all night. A woman who was in Brown's car was detained, and then she was released without charges. All Seasons RV has been right along US 97A on the way up to Antioch for 50 years now, but Gene Halverson, the owner, says, well, I want to retire, and it's time to close. Our very own Casey Safford caught up with Halverson to discuss the legacy of the Wenatchee business and the decision to close 1 week from tomorrow.
It actually opened in about 1974, the spring of 1974. And as far as evolving, All Seasons RV at that time was literally all seasons. We sold snowmobiles, we sold motorcycles, we sold travel trailers, pickup campers, pickup canopies, about everything that was related to the RV industry.
And so now over time you've singled that down to just RVs?
Yes. Yeah, there was too much specialized stuff that had to be done, and so we honed it down to what we really knew.
So your father started the business, is that correct?
My father, my mother, and I.
All right, so when did you officially take it over?
That's a really good question. It was one of those things that was transitional over a multitude of years, just because as they got older, we kind of just allowed them to step back a little bit at a time until they finally was fully retired.
All right, so what are your favorite moments to look back on now with this business?
The people. And not just the people that come in to buy, but also the people that I worked with every single day.
Tell us a bit about what has led to the decision to close the business. What factors contributed to that?
Well, a couple of things. Health issues for probably the most, and then age. You know, I've just gotten to the age where we've decided that it's just time to move on. And the opportunity has arisen, and so we have taken advantage of that.
So how can customers support you throughout this closing period? Are you trying to get rid of inventory, things like that?
Well, certainly we have to reduce the inventory. That's probably the biggest challenge. Right now the RV industry is in a bit of a slump, which we've seen over the years, highs and lows. But right now it's one of those things that has kind of slowed down. But we're still selling them, so we look forward to being able to clear out the ones that we have. So.
All right, so lastly, what would you like to say to all of the customers that you have done business with over all these years?
Well, of course, the biggest thing is thank you.
Sorry, I know that's a very emotional question.
Yes.
With so much time invested here.
I'm able to see the customers coming still. You know, that's the thing that's really hard.
It's no problem. Take your time.
But that's close to my heart. You know, seeing these people that I had one that was here the other day that I've known since the late '60s. And of course, they hate to see us go too. But like I say, it's just time. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that everyone has gotten so used to you guys being here, you know, heading towards Chelan or wherever they're going. But, you know, people are going to remember you guys.
Yeah, I hope so. A lot of good memories.
And finally, on this Thursday morning, Austin Flemons went from a gunner in the United States Marine Corps to a firefighter right here in the Wenatchee Valley. It's a job he says he's going to keep even if he's elected Douglas County's newest commissioner. Flemons says he's interested in transparency so the public can know how government operates and seeking out ways to relieve the tax burdens on Douglas County constituents. He's now a captain with the Wenatchee Valley Fire Department. He says his work with that agency over the last 8 years has equipped him to represent the voters.
So I grew up in the Valley all my life. I went to Eastmont, graduated from the high school there. Shortly after graduation, I joined the Marine Corps as in the infantry. I was a heavy machine gunner. During my time, I served 2 tours overseas. Nearing the end of my enlistment, I obtained the rank of sergeant, where I knew, my time in service, it was over for me, and I was ready to come back home and do something different. And so, roughly 2 weeks after being home, I knew it wasn't over for me. I needed something more to do, and so I sought after firefighting. I did a few ride-alongs, and working with the crews there and seeing how they manage themselves and the teamwork camaraderie, I immediately loved it. I knew it was the lifestyle for me. I've been doing that roughly 8 years now. I am a captain. I am stationed in the southern portion of Wenatchee on the Chelan County side. I love what I do. I love serving the citizens and serving the public. And I'm really looking forward to this opportunity of the actual commissioner, because it'll give me more in-depth on the governmental level of really helping people making a change.
I was going to ask about that. Are there things you think you've learned as a firefighter and working in the fire districts that you think you could bring to the office of commissioner? I mean, are there particular skills, particular insights you think are going to serve you well if you're elected?
Wholeheartedly. And realistically, when I say that too, is when I am out with the public and when we're called to help them, it's on their worst day. It's not just for a cup of coffee. It's when these people are truly in need, and I'm seeing the conditions that people live in, and I understand the issues that they're facing. And I feel like I can make a real difference from knowing this and actually seeing it firsthand.
We'll talk about some of those issues. What have you seen in Douglas County that you think are issues that need to be addressed, that are crying out for some kind of solution?
I would say right now we're going through tough times, to where taxes especially, they're heavy hitting on people. The day-to-day groceries are expensive, gas is expensive, the economy as a whole. Any type of tax break that we can look for or lobby for, or grants that we can go after, anything in the commissioner's seat that can put pressure on putting resources into the public's hands to make their lives easier for them. That's what I'm really about.
What do you think, are there any priorities that the county has set, Douglas County has set, or votes they've taken where you've observed it and you've been like, well, if I were Commissioner Flemons, I might have gone a different direction?
A lot of the things I've agreed with, quite a few of them. There are some where I would never speak directly saying, I'm standing hard on that without the full facts of it, without knowing. There's some things that you're not privileged to if you're not in that commissioner's seat, like a feasibility report. Sometimes those aren't released, and I don't know if the pros actually outweigh the cons on those issues.
You've got a lot of growth and population surge happening in Douglas County. How do you balance those concerns between agriculture, conservation, and the need for people to have a good place to live?
Right. So the maximum benefit, I'm never going to take away farmland, ever. That would never be my intention or gain. The maximum benefit for people's homes or new constructions is if it's feasibly sound. If it's going to help the maximum amount of people, not just one set or the other. So whatever is reasonable.
And again, Jefferson Robbins' complete conversation with candidate Austin Flemons is available to you to watch on our website, ncwlife.com. And that is the news. The news will come your way tonight. I have a feeling it's going to be another busy day in the newsroom. It's my trick knee. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock on television. 5, 6, and 10 on TV. If you consume your news via the World Wide Web, and we have discovered a lot of you do, our newscast will be up and running on our homepage, on our Facebook page, on our YouTube page, on our app, which you can download right there by using the old QR code. And if something out there you think is newsworthy, send us an email, news@ncwlife.com. It was a beautiful day for baseball at T-Mobile Park. Mariners did not do their part. It's a recurring theme. Sports in 2 minutes. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
My favorite thing about living at Prestige is the activities. I think it's just so good for you to have a group that you can have fun with.
I think if you keep moving and you have a social life, you're going to live longer. And that attitude is fostered by the activity director and the managers. It's a good place, it's a happy place, and it's where I plan to stay forever.
Me too.
Global Car Care has the best customer service in the Valley. From the moment you walk in the door, their goal is to help you stay on the road, so you can keep doing what's important to you. Global Car Care certified ASE mechanics stand behind your automotive repairs.
To name yourself after the highest peak in North America? Maybe that's audacity. But towering above is exactly what the first ever all-electric GMC Sierra EV Denali Edition 1 is built to do. With 754 horsepower and up to a GM estimated 400 miles of range, it is the Denali of EVs. The Sierra EV Denali.
At Confluence Health, our mission is clear: to provide exceptional care for our community. We believe in healthcare that's personal and local because we're just like you, members of this great community.
We are Confluence.
Local care by and for our community.
Local care by and for our community.
Local care by and for our community.
We are Confluence.
22 minutes after the hour, Seattle Mariners swept right out of their own ballpark. They lost all 3 of their games with the Angels. Yesterday, 2-1 was the final at T-Mobile Park. The Mariners lost for the 8th time in 9 games. They're now a game behind the Astros in the AL West.
Runner goes, got a good break, throw down to second. Cal, he holds on, he got him, yes sir. Nice job by Polo, scooping it up and playing the tag. Strike him out, throw him out, double play. 3-1. Deep drive to the gap. Carry, goal! Mitch Haniger ringing the bell. 9th home run. 35th RBI. 1-0 Mariners.
He needed it, and so did the club. 405 feet going out to right center.
Ground ball, it's picked by Renifo, steps on third, throws to the plate for a double play. What a fantastic play by Luis Renifo.
Those hands, he's done an amazing job at third base. That was destined to be a 3-run double. Instead, it's a double play.
Cal Raleigh struck out swinging and looking. Drive deep to right. That baby's carrying right into the glove of a Darryl Weddle.
Hit hard and through, a base hit into left center field. Shotwell comes home. Willie Calhoun finds a hole and ties the game. It's 1-1.
Again with another solid swing against Seattle for Willie Calhoun. Stayed on that, lines it.
Line drive, left center, a base hit. That will give the Angels the lead. Kevin Pillar scores. Drury digging for second base. Robles' throw cuts down Drury by plenty. But the Angels are in front. Brandon Drury, a go-ahead base hit.
Well, the moment, and he clutched up with a base hit.
He's down to their final out. Here's Luke Raley. Fly ball, center field. Mickey Moniak is there. He waits. He's got it. Say goodnight to the Mariners. Kamehameha from Carlos.
Yeah, Mariners can't lose today because they don't play today. They're on the road. They start a 3-game series in Chicago. That title in town. They got the White Sox, and they're off to Boston for 3 games next week. To the scoreboard from our friends at Les Schwab, the Astros beat the Athletics, so that's why they have now a 1-game lead over the Mariners. And look who's right on their tail. The world champion Rangers. They've been playing good baseball, too. They beat Chicago, but everybody beat Chicago. Final there was 10-2. The Wenatchee Apple Sox committed 5 errors, lost to the Kamloops North Paws 9-3 last night at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. Wenatchee suffering its first loss since July 11th. The voice of the Apple Sox, Joel Norman, has the wrap.
The Wenatchee Apple Sox had a step backwards yesterday as they fell to the Kamloops Northpaws by a 9-3 score on Wednesday night at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. Wenatchee committed 5 errors and gave up 6 runs in the top of the second inning as the Northpaws kind of flipped the table on the Sox after being shut out on Tuesday night. They answered back with a big victory to tie up the midweek series and set up a rubber match on Thursday night. For Wenatchee, Cannon Peary led the way offensively, driving in 2 of their 3 runs. Jackson Campbell was phenomenal in relief, tossing 3 2/3 scoreless innings for his second outing this season of at least 3 scoreless innings in relief. The Apple Sox will try to take the rubber match on Thursday night and go for their 10th series victory of the summer as they face the Northpaws again at 6:35. With your Apple Sox update, I'm Joel Norman.
Yes, the bearded one. Good to hear from you, Joel. In the meantime, from our friends at Les Schwab, the scoreboard. In the West Coast League, it was a doubleheader, Edmonton and Nanaimo. They got smoked out a couple of days ago, so they had to play 2 games last night, and they split, as you see. The other winners, Bellingham, Victoria, Bend, and Yakima Valley beat a town so nice they named it twice, Walla Walla. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. 26 minutes after the hour. It is the 4th Thursday in July. That makes it National Refreshment Day today. I could just spit out a whole bunch of refreshment trivia, but we're just going to concentrate on beer, because beer is the 3rd most popular drink on the planet. Number 1 is water, number 2 is tea, number 3 is beer. 40 years ago, there were only 49 licensed breweries in this country. Now there are thousands. California has the most breweries, not surprisingly, in the U.S. 20 years ago, an elementary school in Belgium began serving low-alcohol beer to children for lunch as an alternative to soda. St. Louis has a lot of breweries. There are about 60 in there. And a friendly reminder, the melody to the Star-Spangled Banner, our national anthem, is actually an English drinking song. Insert your own joke here. Happy National Beverage Day. Boy, that looks refreshing, doesn't it? It's 27 minutes after the hour. Today in history. 158 years ago today, if you're the general that leads the Union Army to victory, they're going to promote you, and they did. The United States Congress passes legislation authorizing for the first time ever the rank of General of the Army. And the first ever General of the Army, Lieutenant General Ulysses S. Grant, the first ever General of the Army. It's the equivalent of a 5-star general today, but Grant chose to wear just 4 stars on his uniform. The modern 4-star general, you can have multiple of them, but back in the day, only 1 officer at a time could hold the rank of General of the Army. So it was Grant, and then when he got to be president, it was William Tecumseh Sherman, and then when Sherman retired, it was Philip Sheridan, and when Sheridan died, they quit doing it anymore, and the 5-star rank didn't come back until World War II. Grant, the first ever 5-star general. 68 years ago today, 45 miles south of Nantucket Island, in heavy, dense fog, the MS Stockholm collides with the SS Andrea Doria. We have footage here. They ran into each other. Well, the Stockholm hit the Andrea Doria. That's the Andrea Doria. It ain't looking real good. Here's the film. The Stockholm didn't look much better, but at least the Stockholm didn't sink. There's the Stockholm. You can see there. It stayed afloat. 51 people died, almost all of them on board the Andrea Doria, and then it became a salvage job because the Andrea Doria was a luxury ship, and so when it went down with a whole bunch of jewelry and gold and all kinds of really expensive stuff, and it was only in about 160 feet of water. So here come the divers, the treasure hunters began diving down to the Andrea Doria. And at last count, when I did my research, 22 treasure divers have died trying to dive down and get what they could out of the Andrea Doria, which went to the bottom of the Atlantic 68 years ago today. Pretty spectacular footage there. This must have been fun. 1969 was the height of rock and roll festivals, of course, Woodstock and various others. 55 years ago today, the Seattle Pop Festival began its 3-day run at Gold Creek Park in Woodinville. Headlining, Chuck Berry, also performing. Tim Buckley, The Byrds, Chicago. Albert Collins, Bo Diddley, The Doors, The Flock, The Flying Burrito Brothers, The Guess Who, It's a Beautiful Day, a group nobody had heard of by the name of Led Zeppelin. Santana, Spirit, 10 years after Ike and Tina Turner, Vanilla Fudge, Alice Cooper, and the Youngbloods. The 3-day Seattle Pop Festival gets underway on the state in 1969. And finally, the Concorde. Well, I think we all know what happened. It was on the state 2000 at Charles de Gaulle Airport. The plane that took off right before the Concorde, and we have footage of this too, ran over a small piece of metal. Well, it dropped a small piece of metal. The airplane did. And then the Concorde, about a minute later, as it was taking off, the tire on the Concorde, they were flying about 200 miles an hour, ran over this piece of metal that was on the runway. The metal shot up. It struck the lower part of the fuel tank. The fuel tank then caught fire, and they could not retract the landing gear. At this point, it was they were committed. They had to take off. It is the only fatality in the history of the Concorde. All 109 people on board died, and 104 people on the ground. It ended up hitting a hotel just outside of the airport. The Concorde, the beginning of the end on the state 24 years ago today. And birthdays. The man who was supposed to be president. Fate intervened. The oldest of the 9 children, born to Joseph P. Kennedy Sr. and Rose Fitzgerald Kennedy, Joseph P. Kennedy Jr., the oldest of the Kennedys, born this day in 1915. He was supposed to be the president. It was all lined up. He was a delegate to the Democratic National Convention in 1940. Then he was going to be elected to the House out of Massachusetts, then the Senate, then the presidency. It was all laid out, but as a Navy lieutenant, he was killed in action in World War II at the age of 29, and the beginning of what has been known as the Kennedy curse. And Louise Joy Brown, you're going to look at her and say, who the hell is Louise Joy Brown? She's 46 years old today. And in 1978, she was the very first test tube baby. It was big news. Back then, she's 46 years old today, the first human to be born in vitro fertilization. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor. That's Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. If you turn your AC off because you don't need it today, and when you turn it back on again, if it ain't working too right, these are the people you want to call. Alpine Air. They're the pros. And special thanks to our friends at Prestige Senior Living at Colonial Vista. Mike McNally's gone to the Pinion. Clothes in the Classroom is back from her friends at Serve Wenatchee Valley. Great interview there. Don't miss it. But first things first, it's Pause for Pets.
Pause for Pets is presented by Alpine Air Heating and Cooling, Merry Maids, Doghouse Brewery, Leavenworth, and Club Crow Bar and Grill.
Hi, I'm Corley with Wenatchee Valley Humane Society, Animal Care Manager, and this is Hamtaro. Hamtaro is our 1.5-year cattle dog retriever mix, and we're so in love with this boy. My gosh, we have had him for about 2 weeks now. We got him through a rescue partner who had him for about a year. The way they operate is strictly through foster families. So he was with a foster for a year, and they absolutely loved him too. But they couldn't keep him because they had to move. So he came to us. And yeah, he's doing so good here. Hi, buddy. Hamtaro, I looked it up. The name is actually Japanese anime cartoon for a hamster, and it kind of fits. Yeah, he's so sweet. Since Hammy is such a sensitive soul, we, if you come to meet him, we recommend, going a little slow with him. He's a little shy, but he does warm up, and then he's your absolute best friend. Yeah, you are. Also, fun fact about this boy, he has an extra toe on his back foot. He's unique and special. Yeah. Hamtaro's best skill is snuggling, followed closely by cuddling, and his favorite thing is to be pet. People, he adores people. He gets along great with adults, and we want to say older children. He's such a sweet, sensitive soul that he might be a little scared of little kids, but we're not entirely sure. It's just what we think maybe. He's a polite player with our dogs. He's very nice and polite and sweet and lovey. He's got a big heart. And this is what he wants to do all day. He just wants to be in your lap. Yeah. He's also really quiet. I have never heard him bark. He doesn't react badly to any of our dogs when we walk them by. He's very chill and just a really nice boy. So if you would like to come by and meet Hamtaro, we are open 12:30 to 6, Thursday through Tuesday, or you can make an appointment to come and visit him on Wednesday.
Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org. Pause for Pets is presented by Alpine Air Heating and Cooling, Mary Maid's Doghouse Brewery, Leavenworth, and Club Crow Bar and Grill.
Caught in a conflict? Family? Workplace? Neighbor? Business? Housing disputes? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us to learn more.
Hey there folks, Blueberry Carrie here to invite you on out to experience Blueberry Hills. Of course, the food is fabulous, like our cheese splints, our famous French dip, our legendary Eggs Benedict, and unforgettable burgers. But we're more than just great food. People come from all over the world to experience what's been called one of the best destination restaurants in the Pacific Northwest. So come on out and see what all the fuss is about. Blueberry Hills in Manson. It's where the world is coming to.
Most of us are in touch with the internet in one way or another all day long. A fast, secure connection matters. It keeps us entertained, informed, and in touch. Local cares about your connection. We know strong, reliable internet with your choice of speed makes life better. If you need fast, reliable internet, or maybe an upgrade, or you just have questions, connect with us by visiting localtel.com or call 509-888-8888 today.
Downtown Wenatchee, something for everyone. Find custom floral designs for any occasion at Mountain Chick Floral. Even more wonderful plants and gifts abound in every corner in their new location at 7A South Wenatchee Avenue.
The Original Children's Shop offers sweet summertime outfits for your newborn to 8-year-old. Stop in for all the essentials you need to have a fun summer. Swimsuits, sandals, towels, sand toys, and more. Shop online or in our store.
Downtown Wenatchee, it's all here.
Hey, this is Mad Dog McNally, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, something I ask of my counseling clients is, how many times in the past few months have you lost your temper? Now, regardless of what they answer, I tell them the truth. The truth is that they've never lost their temper. None of us has. Because we don't lose our temper, we give it away. Now, no one makes me mad or makes me do anything unless I give up personal responsibility and let them control me. Saying I lost my temper is the same thing as saying that somebody else did something bad enough for me to act like a jerk, but it's their fault. And the scientific, clinical term for that kind of thinking is BS. This is Mike Mad Dog McNally, and that's my opinion.
Since 1932, Camp Seneca, nestled on the beautiful shores of Lake Wenatchee, has provided children grades 1 through 12 with the ideal location for kids to learn new skills, have fun, and make friends while creating memories that will last a lifetime. Camp Seneca's rustic log cabins and their staff serve to provide each group a unique summer camp experience. Register for Camp Seneca today, www.campfirencw.org.
In Digital Media Arts program, we learn about video production gear and editing by the combination of class projects and nonprofit work and employment.
It makes things happen.
Yeah.
It's pretty magical.
We work in the industry at the Wenatchee Round, NCW Live Channel, and the Town Toyota Center events. Every day we work with industry standard equipment for a hands-on learning experience.
Don't miss the Grant County Fair in Moses Lake, August 13th through the 17th.
Leading the entertainment list is Diamond Rio. Thursday, August 15th, with special guest Katie Wade. Friday night is 90s favorite Chingy with special guest DJ Precise. And Wednesday night, two of the best tribute bands in the country, Best of Both Worlds, a Van Halen tribute, and Crazy Train, an Ozzy tribute. VIP tickets are available at gcfairgrounds.com.
It's vacation season. While a trip to Hawaii sounds great, we know what you really want is an inflation vacation. That's why Abby's feeds a group of 4 to 6 people for less than $26. Enjoy an inflation vacation at Abby's. You can be a superhero tonight and treat your family to Abby's famous hometown hero. This giant features our classic pepperoni, tasty Italian sausage, and crisp green peppers, all layered together for a legendary feast. Don't miss this July special pizza at a very special price.
It is back, new location, bigger and better than ever. The need has never gone away. I'm talking about Close for the Classroom, put on by Serve Wenatchee Valley. I think everybody knows this guy to my immediate left took over as the Chief Hope Officer from our friend Tom Nees, who's moved on to more important things. Mike, it's good to see you again.
Good to be here.
And you got your friend Pastor Jay here, so we're in his territory.
Yep, and his home turf, and this home turf is going to be transitioned to a big clothing distribution center on August 10th.
And we should tell everybody where Pastor Jay is. We are at
Calvary Crossroads, 1301 Maple Street in Wenatchee.
Right across the street from the Senior Center.
That's correct.
Before we get into the nitty-gritty stuff, Mike, you got the gig, what, February?
April 1.
April 1?
April 1.
Kind of fit, because you had that transition period where you and Tom were working together.
Correct.
And then you took over driving the ship yourself on April 1st. So smooth transition, everything going good? You still call Tom every once in a while?
Tom and I still talk pretty frequently.
Okay.
You know, it's been a good transition. It's been a whole lot of fun. Lots of things are going on. I don't know if I mentioned before, but I've really been doing 2 full-time jobs. I've still been pastoring in Seattle. That ended this week, so all of my attention here is on Serve Wenatchee, but it's really been interesting, and there has been, I've seen even since I've been on board, an increase in need as we look at some of our statistics, and I don't know what's
specifically what kind of needs are you talking
about?
Well,
you know, we have our Fresh Hope Market, which is a food bank, and we last year gave out about 115,000 pounds of food. Out of that location.
That's like 7.5 tons.
It's an enormous amount of food. The last several months, demand has been up about 1,500 pounds a month. So we are certainly on track to exceed the 115,000 pounds in 2024. And that's a concern because we need to raise money to do that, you know, and so we're always looking for partners, church partners, business partners, just people in the community that feel like they want to be a part of a Christian faith-based effort to meet the needs of folks in the Valley. And we've got some great partnerships here, including Pastor Jay and Calvary Crossroads.
So we have a new location for Close for the Classroom. It was for years and years at Saddle Rock Presbyterian Church there at Miller and Crawford. New location for a couple of reasons, Mike, and I'll let you address that.
Yeah, you know, the church Saddle Rock decided to move in a little different direction this year with their missions program. Jay reached out to us and said, we'll have you. And we were pretty excited. We came down here, and it's a big piece of property. So
which you need a big campus.
Yeah,
big
which
footprint.
we could make it work, and it felt like a good partnership for us. And I can let Jay speak to that a little bit.
Lots of parking, Jay, and lots of room, and those two things are absolutely necessary for Close for the Classroom to be pulled
That's
off.
correct. There are going to be a bunch of things going on all at once, and we believe that bringing enough volunteers down here will just make it work like a well-oiled machine. That's our prayer.
You've been talking to your congregation.
Yes.
I'm expecting you're going to have a lot of your folks helping out.
We're also going to come up with 2,000 giant chocolate or large-sized chocolate chip cookies. That's one of the challenges we put out Sunday was don't bake them, go get them. We want them all the same, but they're good cookies, and you know where you can get them. So, but that's just another little thing, and many hands make light work. And I'll just echo what Mike was saying. We told our people we need you volunteering as well. But this is an awesome opportunity to be a blessing to the community.
When kids go to school come Labor Day weekend, early part of September, they want to go to school with a nice haircut and new clothes. New clothes is a tradition that goes back, Lord knows how much. And the key word here, Mike, and you mentioned this before, is dignity.
Yeah, you know, self-esteem is important.
Sure, absolutely.
And there's a lot of research that's been done tying students' self-esteem to their performance in the classroom. And we've got a lot of families in this valley. You know, we serve people who are at 80% of the area median income or less. Most of our folks are probably at 50% of the area median income. So for a family of four, that's $37,000, $500 a year. And that's not, you're not able to live on that in this valley. And so we just really believe, you know, as followers of Jesus, that every child in this valley deserves a new pair of clothes. They need a new pair of shoes. And we hope that helps with their performance. You know, Numerica Credit Union has chipped in and made this possible. CVCH has given us all the backpacks. It's pretty exciting what goes on here that day. And there's a lot of other vendors here that are here presenting information on family-based ministries and family-based outreaches and organizations in this community that serve the family. So there's really almost like a shopping mall of opportunities for folks to come and see what's available here.
The sign-up period, unfortunately, has come and gone. You had to pre-register in advance. That is now closed, but there's a reason that you brought up. Instead of just opening up the doors and letting the people flow in here, there's a method to that.
Yeah, there's sort of an ebb and flow to this. The reality is we can't have 1,000 people showing up all at once. We have to pace them throughout the day. We have to spread it out over a period, and we have to limit it because we're limited in the clothes we have. We purchase all of the clothes. These are not donated, used items. These are brand new clothes. We have a wonderful member of our team, Amy Depew, who is just this amazing, has the amazing eye for the bargain. We work with Stans and Old Navy and other retailers in the valley to purchase clothes at less than $35 for a new pair of shoes, a new pair of clothes. And so the reality is that we want these kids getting these clothes, and we have to spread it out so that that happens. So what's interesting, Dan, this year is that typically we accept signups throughout the month of July. Mm-hmm. We're not sure exactly what changed this year, but for whatever reason, we had to close registration after 1 week. Normally we take 1,000 students. We have signed up 1,100 this year. And so we're kind of stepping out in faith in that regard because we believe we can meet that need, but we need the community's help in doing that.
1,100 sets of clothes. You're talking pants, you're talking shirts, you're talking socks, you're talking shoes, you're talking underwear. How does this, from a logistical standpoint, how do you pull this off, Mike, or do you?
Well, we do pull it off, and I would say that it is largely pulled off because of, again, Amy Depew and because of our staff down at Serve Wenatchee. You know, we
amazing people.
Yeah, and so the fact that, you know, she has a rhythm for what we need, what typically the demand is, and so that's a significant thing for us.
She's probably the queen of the spreadsheets, right?
She's one of my favorite people, and she knows exactly what she's doing to make this all work out. So we've always been able to meet. And then having our community partners, you know, having Jay and Columbia, or excuse me, having Jay and Calvary Crossroads here step into the gap and say, we want to do this, and just open their doors and be the face of Jesus that day to folks coming through. It's a big deal for us.
And we just feel it's the beginning. It's the least we can do. I mean, God has blessed us with this facility and this property. It's His. So, and that's how we look at it, and it's yours.
But you can never have enough warm bodies, Mike. The more the merrier, to get the clothes out, get them on the racks, make sure the kids are being checked through, processed. All of that stuff takes a lot of warm bodies.
Correct. We're here all week that week setting up, and we need volunteers right now. I was checking this morning. We still have volunteer places available. And so, folks, if you have nothing to do on Saturday morning, August 10th, this is a great opportunity for you to come and just see kids being blessed. And who doesn't like to see children being blessed? And so you can show up, and the way you sign up is simply go to our website. It's servewenatchee.org, servewenatchee.org, and you can see where you can volunteer. There's a close for the classroom right on the main page. You can see where you volunteer. You can sign up for a time slot. And then, of course, the other thing is we have to pay for these clothes.
Yeah.
At $35 $5 a pair. So we anticipate a budget of around $35,000. Amy's done a really good job of staying really below that this year, but with our increased potential attendance, we really need to hit that. So we're also looking for folks to hop online and donate, and you can go to servewenatchee.org there where the volunteer sign up is, the donation page. You can donate specifically to this event, and every penny you give goes to the Ministry of Serve Wenatchee in purchasing clothes.
Have you found that the parents of the kids who are coming in here are helping you out as well because they want to pay it forward? They want, hey, we appreciate this. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to send Johnny and Susie to school with new clothes. What can we do for you, Mike?
We hear many thank yous every year when we
And that's good enough for you.
It has to be, because for a lot of these folks, I'm not missing any dinners. You can tell that. A lot of these folks in this day and age are just struggling, and it's a real challenge to put food on the table. We do 3 sort of core ministries throughout the year: rental assistance, food assistance, and furniture assistance. And our goal is to keep families in their home. It's the best way to prevent homelessness, keeping people in their home. And so we need partners to help us do that. And the families are great. And, we have families that come through our office every day to receive food. We've got a couple I'm working with right now that we're going to be doing some promotional work with who say their lives are transformed by Serve. And that's why we do it.
Again, it is Saturday, August 10th. Go to Serve Wenatchee Valley's website, click on to volunteer, pick a time. The only skill set you need is to care. That's about it, and that's all there is to it. How do you inherited this from Tom and inherited this from Bob. This is one of the biggest things of the year that you guys put on.
This is our single largest one-day event. It is all hands on deck right now, and that's why we need partners. That's why we value. Why did your church get involved, Jay?
We've been a part of Serve Wenatchee since its inception. And it just brings out the best of us. We just feel like nothing beats unity. Our founding mantra was, our oneness is our witness, or something like that. Witness is our oneness. I forget which order. Anyhow, it's just a beautiful thing. When people in the community behold, they don't always understand the differences of Christian and not, but they see Christians doing stuff. They see God's people, coming out and blessing them. It just creates goodwill, sows goodwill. It's a form of being who you're supposed to be. And we just can't do that enough. We just really can't.
Jay, do you want to go ahead, Mike? You had something else you want to? While we have you, you want to plug your church while we have you here? Maybe bring a few more people in.
We have been here on this location. We used to be in East Wenatchee at Baker and Ashland and 23rd. And so now we're here for about 13 years, the old First Baptist campus. It's Calvary Crossroads. But we, for instance, coming up this fall, we are going to launch an Alpha program, which will invite everybody within the church, but also outside the church, to come and take a fresh look at the gospel, fresh look at who God is. And so we're going to entertain. We're training ourselves. We're dialing back our, chutzpah a little bit. We're just trying to be Christ-like to people who want to kick some tires and say, what's this all about? It's a 12-week thing. It'll go Sunday nights in our fellowship hall. We're going to eat a meal, watch a video, and then talk. But I've heard from good churches and good reliable sources in the Valley even, that the churches that have tried it lately, it's been an ongoing thing, and it's been blessing. And people are giving God, Christ, a whole new look, and so a second look, a third look. So we're excited about that. And but other than that, man, we're open at 10:30 on Sunday morning.
And you're streaming, in case you're just curious.
Yes, we do stream, and you can find us on the internet, CalvaryCrossroads.com. But I'm always a little tiny bit reticent to plug my brand. I just always love the fact that God is the brand. But like we talked about, people want you to plug your thing to them, and so here I am plugging it. God loves you, and so do we. So there's so many great churches in town. Give us a look.
We want to give God the glory, but our churches credit when they come alongside and help us like this. And so it's a great event. It's a big event. It is significant in this valley. I brought you a little gift this morning, Dan. You get a Hope hat from Serve. But like I said, folks can go to our website. By the way, go to our website, sign up to volunteer. You'll get some swag yourself that day.
Including a cookie.
There you go.
Yes, or maybe even two.
Yeah, I think there's more than just one. Yeah.
Who is going to make 2,000 cookies, Jay?
They work at a place called Costco.
Oh, Duh. There you go. Grab a piece of pizza and a hot dog while you're there.
Yeah.
Thanks. Have a good time on the 10th. You always will. The payoff for you, Mike, and you mentioned this before and before that, Tom, just the smile on the kid's face and the appreciation for their parents, knowing this is one less thing they have to worry about when the kids go back to school. That's one more item they can check off the list. Yeah. It's good to see you, my friend. Next time you need a little help, let me know.
Well, we'll be talking Coach for Kids coming up here shortly, so we'll be doing that. That's in the fall.
The fun never stops. Mike from Serve Wenatchee Valley, Pastor Jay from the church, thanks for taking some time out for us. And can I play with the keyboards before I leave?
Sure.
Cool. All right. We'll be right back.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories, and we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether, we provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
Oh, look at this.
This would look really good in the kitchen.
Or the living room. Just look at it.
New windows are a work of art. Upgrade your home's windows and get cash back from Chelan County PUD.
This is gonna look great in the house.
Now there are even more reasons to meet at the Pybus Market. Outdoor dining and tastings, the fabulous Farmers Market, Saturday artisans on the concourse, and your favorites all week long. No matter the reason, it's always time to meet at the Pybus Market. Pybus Market, where community meets.
Temperature hasn't gone much of anywhere since this show began an hour ago. It was 63 at 7 a.m. It's almost 8 a.m. and it's 64. That's it. Relative humidity, though, is starting to drop a little bit. And as we mentioned before at the start of the show, those people who live in and around where wildfires are going on, and it's not just the Pioneer Fire. There's fires down in northeastern Oregon, which is making things pretty nasty down there. So this is kind of one of those nerve-wracking days. Now, we don't have a red flag warning yet, and you know why by now, because it's the three things that have to all combine to make that red flag warning recipe available to us, and that is low relative humidity. We're going to have that. Windy conditions, we're going to have that, but it's not going to be very hot. If anything, it's going to be cool. We're not even going to get to 80 today, but that still means that any little spark that gets going could really get going, and all those existing fires could take off. So this is a critical day for those folks fighting the Pioneer Fire up near Stehekin. As you know by now, the area of Stehekin, including the landing, is now at a level 2 evacuation notice. So anybody who doesn't live in Stehekin or has business in Stehekin or a landowner, you're not allowed in there. So if you're up there right now as a tourist or a backpacker or a camper, they're going to come up there with the Lady of the Lake and they're going to come get you because you got to get out of there. And anybody who needs to get to Stehekin, you can't. They're not letting anybody ride the Lady of the Lake from Chelan up to Stehekin unless you are a land owner. We'll have more on this as the day progresses. And if anything breaks, obviously, stay close to our website and our Facebook page. All right, from the National Weather Service, only 79 after the hottest July on record. We're going to be downright comfortable today. But again, breezy. Wind out of the northwest about 20 miles an hour, gusts close to 30. Right now, we have wind at about 15 miles an hour. Good news is the wind dies down as this dry cold front leaves the area overnight tonight. It's going to cool us down a lot. Look at that, only 53 for the overnight low with diminishing winds, and then we start warming up again. Very little wind on Friday with a high of 89. No wind at all on Saturday. Up to 90 we go. Going to hover just about that 90-degree mark right into the weekend and right into August. And that's it for us. Have a good and safe Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.